Welcome to our look into remarkable women of Central Texas. I'm Jennifer Sanders. We reached out to you to find stories of women who are working to make an impact on our community. And now we're sharing some of those remarkable stories. We start with a woman of first, shifting the political landscape in Austin, Travis County, and really the state of Texas. As we honor remarkable women in our community, we look at the impact that Wilhelmina Delco has made and keeps making on leaders nationwide. I sat down with her daughter to get some insight into her mother's journey, which continues to this day. The Honorable Wilhelmina Delco. You've probably seen her name driving around the Austin area. This center, this school, this road, all a testament to her years-long dedication to education and public service in Central Texas. But to understand her rich legacy, let's go back to Chicago, Illinois in 1929.
Our mother was probably one of the first probation officers in the country. Her father was a court deputy and a political organizer.
Her daughter, Loretta Edelin, fondly remembers her mother's childhood, which was perhaps a foreshadowing of her life as a community and state leader.
She was very active then, school body president her senior year, and salutatorian. Obviously very outspoken and very active at her school. Decided to go to Fisk University in Nashville, Tennessee, where she met the love of her life.
Her family eventually ended up in Austin, where she was the head of the PTA. That became the genesis of her political career in Central Texas.
The reason I ran was because I didn't like the way the school board was doing my PTA. They would charge it, and every time we had a fundraiser, they wanted most of the money. And I said, oh no. We work for this, and this is for our people. And so I said, who makes this decision? They said the school board. I said, that was when I decided to run for the school board.
She was elected to the Austin Independent School District Board of Trustees, the first African American elected to the school board, 2 days after the assassination of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And when he was assassinated for just being himself, that I think a lot of people, particularly in Austin, said, I'm not like that. I wouldn't do that. And here's an opportunity to show that I'm not like that.
And her work on the school board revealed even more barriers in education.
When she asked the question again about why are we so restricted at the school district with respect to what we can do, the answer was the legislature is the reason why. And so she did her research and found out that, oh, well, maybe I need to go that route.
Delco won a seat in the Texas House of Representatives in 1974, becoming the first African-American official elected at large from Travis County. She worked on more than 20 committees, served 10 terms in the state legislature, and was appointed to serve as Speaker Pro Tem, the first woman to do so, all with a continued focus on education.
She was also involved in No Pass, No Play. Because, again, the focus is education. And if you're not on your books, if you're not doing what you need to do in the classroom, you don't need to be celebrated outside of the classroom. She had a picture in her office of a young black male in a black velvet background with a tear coming out of his eye to keep her grounded in what drove her in terms of who she serves.
Delco was also on the founding board of trustees of Austin Community College. She served on Houston Tilliston's board as it transitioned from a college to a university. She held several leadership positions in local, state, and national organizations.
The whole purpose of public education is to make you better citizens.
We caught up with her a few years ago at the school named in her honor.
Don't let anybody else speak for you. If there's a meeting going on the school board, on the city council, the state legislature, the people that you elected ought to not only know who you are, they need to be responsible.
After years as a public servant, her daughter says she remains pretty active. A little over 10 years ago, she was pictured on this cover as Austinite of the Year. Why the pool, you might ask? Well, at the age of 79, she learned how to swim. Does she realize just the impact that she's not only made, but is still making on people to this day?
I don't think that's center in her mind. I think, again, it's kind of in the present. She lives in the presence, continuously staying active. Like I said, flunking retirement. But, you know, what can you do?
Yes, yes. In Austin, Jennifer Sanders, KXAN News. We turn now to a story of a female powerhouse who's making her mark as an entrepreneur and philanthropist. Jayla Washington introduces us to the face and the heart behind Austin staple Antonelli's Cheese. Jayla shows us how the owner uses her platform to spark change locally and internationally.
Tucked away in the chic Lamar Union Plaza, behind the captivating cow artwork on the face of the building and the floor-to-ceiling windows is the Antonelli Cheese Tasting Room, co-led by one
Kendall Antonelli.
very remarkable woman.
How do I have time to do everything I do? I don't. Nobody does.
From building a now 15-year-old cheese business from the ground up, now recognized nationally, raising millions of dollars for more than 800 nonprofits, to her philanthropic work, cooking hot meals for asylum seekers on the border, advocacy for social justice and mental health. It's not the long list of accomplishments that draws you in.
Is what's most beautiful about this journey that we've been on.
It's her realness.
Is I wouldn't have chosen this to have the outcome that it did, and yet it's giving us so much more than we could have ever guessed.
As Kendall sat down with me, she opened up about some very personal things, like her struggles with depression and even being hospitalized as a result, not knowing if her business would survive the pandemic, and anxiety that she still deals with today in the midst of all of her success.
And life can just be exhausting for everybody. Exhausting in the joy, exhausting in the pain. I think one thing that unites many of us right now is that we all care about our quality of lives and the people we love, and we all want what's best for them. We just see different ways of going about it.
It's this that's a guiding force in her life as she continues to navigate through the highs and the lows. Lessons and life experiences like losing her father at an early age, traveling the world and opening her mind and heart to different cultures is what makes her want to give all she can to her community while staying connected.
And what I want my legacy to be is that I built more bridges than I tore down. People feel better once they're around me, that I am real and raw and relatable and flawed, and that our flaws, our imperfections are what make us unique.
In Austin,
I think we all deserve to live our truth.
I'm Jayla Washington.
In a quiet Marble Falls neighborhood, a small, nondescript home has become an epicenter of change. The Open Door Recovery House is a faith-based, sober living home that offers recovery services free of charge. Paula Mays opened Open Door in 2010 and deservedly won our Remarkable Women contest back in 2023 for the mark that she's left on our community and also the lives of so many of these women. Our Avery Travis spoke with Mays about the impact of winning the contest and her efforts moving forward.
So we're kicking off Women's History Month, and we're going to start highlighting the contributions of some truly remarkable women here in our area. And I am so honored to be here with two of them today, and actually three, one behind the camera too, who you can't even see. It Open Door Recovery House is just bursting with these remarkable women, and we want to tell you about them. So Paula Mays, we want to start with you. She opened Open Door in 2010 and deservedly won our Remarkable Woman contest back in 2023 for the mark she left on our community and the lives of so many women through the house. And she has brought with her Tiffany Saldana. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about Tiffany's story here in just a moment. But Paula, I do want to start with you. It's been 2 years since you were here in this studio and you found out you had won this contest. I know 2 years, 24 months, a lot has probably happened. So catch us up. What have you done since you won our Remarkable Woman contest?
Oh, wow. It was such a major blessing. Anytime we're highlighting the darkness and the light coming into it and the miracles, people are seeking miracles today, and we have so many in in Marble Falls, and to highlight and spotlight what God's doing in the area is just a blessing. It really is. So we have now partnered with a larger ministry, a larger organization, Highland Lakes Crisis Network, and they are providing transitional housing for our women after they've stayed a year with us. So it goes on. It goes longer. We walk beside these women through all areas of their life. We connect them with the resources they need. And we have a brother program, which is his Joshua House in Kingsland, and Donald Thompson runs that. And we work together in numerous efforts. And both of our programs, when they reach a year with us, they get to move into the transitional housing. So it has just been such important work that we've been able to strategically partner with this network. So that was one of the largest things that's happened.
Incredible to know that you're still holding their hand as they
Yes.
kind of take the next step. I want to back up for people who this is their first introduction to Open Door.
Okay.
You heard Will mention it here. They help 250 women or more every year. It is a mind-blowing statistic just to think about the impact here. It's all provided free of charge. So talk about people, maybe not when they're walking out of the door of Open Door, but when they're entering. How do you get connected with these women?
They come from all different walks of life. Basically, they have a desire to do something different, to step out of that into a new life. And that takes a lot of courage. So some are from prison, some are off the streets, others are in productive, positive environments, but they can't live that way. It's more than just stopping what they're doing. It's learning to live life and stay stopped. It's about not just about making a living, but about having a life. And it takes time. You have to relearn everything. You have to change the way you think. And it's a lot.
Tiffany, I know you're here. Paula and I were talking earlier. She is so proud of the journey you've been on. Tell us a little bit about that. Everything that Paula is describing, you have lived through.
I have, yeah.
Talk about your story and what you're doing now.
I was in my addiction for a good 19 years. I was actually incarcerated when Paula came and interviewed me. And within days, I was in Open Door. I was able to be sober, and be with my mom when she took her last breath. It's been amazing. It's definitely been a journey, and now I work for Open Door. It's all just been a blessing.
How full circle to get to come
Yeah.
back and work with this incredible ministry.
Absolutely.
Tiffany, thanks for sharing a bit of your story. And we want to note too, Paula, we know this is personal for Paula as well. You can actually watch her full story from her win in 2023 on our website right now. I do want to end though, I wish we could keep you here all day,
okay.
But I want to end with ways that people at home can get connected with you all. If they want to donate or get involved, how can they do that?
OpenDoorRecoveryHouse.org.
Amazing.
Yes.
And I know you've got some events coming up that you want to highlight
We do.
as well.
May 10th is our 5K, and May 25th is our fashion show.
Amazing. Incredible work, and we'll get more of that linked on our website. But Paula and Tiffany, thank you so much for the work that you do in Marble Falls and the surrounding communities. And thanks for coming here and for being remarkable, absolutely remarkable women.
Coming up, a relentless mission to help women behind bars turn their lives around. And she turned pain into purpose. What's behind one woman's drive to save lost pets? Our look at remarkable women continues after the break. One woman has been on a relentless mission for nearly a decade. Pam Stevenson set out to build a chapel and give inmates at the women's prison in Burnett County a safe place to pray and go through classes and other programs to help them turn their lives around. Stevenson said she had no clue where to start and needed thousands of dollars to make this happen. As Jayla Washington shows us, this remarkable woman feels she's been divinely guided along the way.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary.
Out in Burnett County behind the toll gates and barbed wire, some women in the Ellen Halber prison couldn't help but to share this gospel.
Sanctuary.
Their spirits rejoicing in this brand new chapel.
For you.
It is still a work in progress. You see and hear the emptiness. But these inmates are anything but empty.
It's going to be so good.
This woman right here, Pam Stevenson, a big reason, helping them cling to the good and what life outside of here is and will be.
Hello.
Hi.
We'll get to that.
Well, I have a 15-year sentence for organized crime.
Well, I have a 35-year sentence. I sold drugs just to get more drugs to get high.
Just living the wrong lifestyle. I was raised into the streets and stuff like that.
I was always under the belief that there's always tomorrow.
These women all have their own stories to tell. Many of them here at the Halbert prison are in recovery from substance abuse and are also survivors of physical or sexual abuse and are here in this unit less than a year.
When y'all were in your darkest moments, did you ever see yourselves sitting here with me right now talking about rehabilitation?
No.
Inmates here in recovery have the opportunity to go through rehabilitation programs.
One thing I've learned from this is that you are not the darkness that you have endured. You are the light that never surrendered.
Amen.
Each of these women I'm sitting down with have completed one called Bridges to Life, but many others have been turned away.
Sometimes we have to turn people away in the other chapel because there's not enough room.
Now the ladies and I sit in what will be one of the classrooms for programs inside of a new facility that also houses the new chapel, where women will be able to go to worship. This is now a reality that started with a simple vision put on paper, a drawing of the chapel.
This was a drawing that the chaplain made.
And that's what brings us back to Pam Stevenson.
Well,
it's all still a lot, even for her to process. Stevenson spent about 10 years volunteering at the prison, teaching Bible study and helping out with other classes. And then one day, a nudge.
I don't understand how God works. I just know that He puts things on our hearts. And so on the way home, I just cried out to God and said, you know, what about all these other women that can't get into a class?
But that cry out for help, a higher order came that she says she could not ignore. Stevenson would go on to create a nonprofit called Joseph's Hammer to build the chapel.
You know, people just looked at me like, you have got to be kidding. You must have lost your mind. What on earth? And I really didn't have sense enough to stop.
People, and a lot of them, did eventually come around though. Stevenson and a team she formed were able to raise more than $2 million. The project, 7 years in the making, to give opportunities to women to transform their lives.
What does that impact mean to you?
Just to be able to go in and say, you know what? I'm no different than you, and I want you to know that you can walk out of here and your life can be wonderful.
Thank you so much.
The women gracious and sharing a rare moment of contact.
This makes it worthwhile.
Inside of a prison, overcome with so many emotions.
Because somebody poured into us when we were written off by society.
Have you all ever had any individual like Pam pour into you all the way that Pam has?
No.
For Remarkable Women, I'm Jayla Washington.
Lost, injured, abused, and abandoned dogs have a tough life on the streets in Texas. While they can't speak for themselves, dozens of people wrote to us nominating one of their fiercest advocates to our Remarkable Women contest. Each year during Women's History Month, we recognize the accomplishments and contributions of Central Texas women. This year, we got to spend one truly remarkable day with the leader of Jack Jack's pack.
Come on.
It may look easy,
Yeah, that's good.
but being a hero takes a lot of work
Do you know these dogs?
and a lot of waiting
Nothing yet.
and a lot of time on rural roads, feeding, trapping, and rescuing street dogs.
Basically, we're doing a foster plea right now because I don't want to leave them behind because this is where it gets really, really ugly.
On her way to rescue one dumped dog, Sasha Aguili spotted two others
I'm on Highway 21 right now. I was going to trap that black shepherd.
and began calling her network of foster volunteers.
I was just telling my family a story, and I was like, I'm sorry, I wouldn't pick up the phone for anyone else, but it's Sasha.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I'll send you video. Like, if you go look, they would die without you, and I want you to know that you are really saving 2 lives. So I will be loading them up right now, and I'll see you in just a little bit. My phone is constantly going off, so I get calls all day about dumped dogs. Dogs that are on the corner of a highway, dogs that are in dangerous neighborhoods, dogs that are on the back of a country road where they're not getting anything from anybody.
Sasha rescues hundreds of animals a year with the help of her family and a small team of volunteers and foster families known as Jack Jack's Pack. Named for one of her own.
The wind blew our front door open, so not the gate, not the backyard, literally the front door.
Within minutes, her beloved 17-year-old rescue Chihuahua, Jack Jack, was gone.
And so this was 2021, so it's been a while, but it's still hurtful.
She put up posters, paid a pet finder, and spent days out searching.
I was out there every single day, and for months, I started finding all these other dogs, and in really bad condition.
And with every dog she brought home, Sasha became more convinced she could turn her tragedy into a full-time job. Since 2021, Jack Jack's pack has rehabbed and rehomed more than 1,000 animals.
Every dog we save is a part of Jack Jack's pack. So I tell every single one, you think you're great, Uncle Jack Jack.
For Sasha, it's not enough. She often has to prioritize the worst cases she calls 911s.
He was literally being severed in half.
No question. It's the worst case of cruelty from that perspective that I've ever seen. And
Like
what's happened
Alfie.
is the skin is contracted.
He was found with wire wrapped around his
It
waist.
was sitting right on top of it there, and so
He's getting life-saving care at Mercy Veterinary Hospital in Leander, along with at least 4 other Jack Jack's pack rescues on just one afternoon.
You Racy here, foster daddy?
Over the years, they've saved dogs who've been shot or fed poison. Others are just searching for food or love.
It's our goal eventually to have a safe haven, and a true safe haven where we would have indoor doggy condos and peaceful music. And so I would never have to turn down, if I had 4 911s in a day, I could bring 4 911s in and not wait for someone to say yes to foster.
Until then, she's determined to save more.
So they say that he was dumped along this fence line right here.
Day and night.
A year and a half ago.
Even with 2 dogs already in tow.
What a good baby.
Now we gotta wait.
However long it takes.
He's going in. He's going in. He's going in.
To bring them all home.
Come on.
It actually took Sasha and her husband around 4 more hours before she was able to successfully trap that German Shepherd. But now his name is Argos, and he's safe being fostered in the home of a neighbor nearby. Those other 2 rescues from earlier that day are now named Enora and Val, and they are thriving in foster homes as well. As for Alfie, he may have to have a surgery to make sure he heals properly, but Sasha says she is confident that he will heal and be ready to find his forever family soon. So if you're interested in adopting one of these dogs or any of their rescues, you can explore available dogs on her website. We've got a link at KXAN.com.
Coming up, you'll meet this year's Remarkable Women winner, her story of redemption, shared with others through food. Hundreds of thousands of Central Texans struggle to afford enough food at times, according to the Central Texas Food Bank. One local woman, though, is working to change that with a mobile food pantry, feeding hundreds of people in her neighborhood each week. Throughout Women's History Month, we've been highlighting the accomplishments and the contributions of some remarkable women in our area. This year's contest winner is sharing her story of redemption with others through food.
How are you? You came to volunteer today?
It's a famous miracle.
We're gonna set everything up first, and then we're gonna get ready to welcome the community.
Taking a little bit of food.
I need my meats over here, eggs, cheese, dairy over here.
And feeding thousands.
Hola, bienvenidos todos.
Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Thank you everybody for coming today to Mobile Blessings from the Heart.
People line up in an empty lot in East Austin.
And we would like to say grace and bless the food before we get started.
To receive what Jeanette Valdez Duran refers to as a blessing.
Whoever needs food, who's just hungry, you don't need to be poor, you don't need to be homeless. If you just need a little extra help to have something in the refrigerator, come to us.
Her nonprofit food pantry all started just down the street.
I had a vision in my head. I saw a house and I saw tables and I saw people everywhere, different people that I didn't know. When I woke up, I'm like, okay, the driveway.
In front of her parents' home.
We would set up our vegetables right here, the boxes.
Word spread, more donations poured in.
We started out with like 5 people, then 10, and then to 25. And then my dad and my mom would watch us from on top of the balcony, and I think we outgrew our welcome.
Eventually, her parents asked her to move down the street to the bigger lot.
I was kind of upset at first, but then as I thought about it, I'm like, wait, Jeanette, that's a good thing. We're growing.
Now, her operation is feeding nearly 500 people each week.
And I used to come here like when times were hard, and she used to always get me through.
It's really nice to be able to pick up some food when I need it.
It's a feeling Jeanette knows personally.
Every time I went to the 7-Eleven, I would ask if I could have like their taquitos or their hot dogs or their donuts, because I didn't want them to throw them away because we were hungry and we wanted something to eat.
She spent several years homeless, battling addiction and sharing food with others living on the street.
Oh, I just was stuck out there for about 6 years, and then finally God sent a message to me, and he put 4 women in my path in 1 week.
Each of those women told Jeanette to go home to her family.
And so I called my sister. She was there within 5 minutes, and I've been home since 2009. And I just thank God for not forgetting about me and telling me that he had a purpose and a plan for me.
That purpose and plan took her right back to the 7-Eleven.
They would give me sandwiches and donuts, and I would go pick that up, and then I would go hand it up to the people wherever. I just drive around until I gave it away.
Driven by her second chance at life, fueled by her faith, and propelled by partners such as Black Women in Business and Trader Joe's, the Central Texas Food Bank, and even businesses like Costco and Panera.
We've had fraternities from the University of Texas come volunteer. We've had youth groups from different churches come volunteer, because we feel that it's important to teach the next generation how important it is to serve in the community and to be the hands and feet for our God.
For now, Jeanette's hands hard at work, planning for a future where she can serve even more people.
This is my vision board for Mobile Blessings from the Heart for 2025.
That vision? More partnerships, legacy and corporate donors, and a distribution center, complete with refrigerators and freezers so Jeanette can rescue food from restaurants that would otherwise be thrown away at the end of the night.
We thank you for shining upon us, Father God.
She says it's a miracle made reality.
And he's opening the doors. I would not be able to do this by myself. There's just no way. And it's not a me thing, it's a we thing, it's a community thing. It's volunteers that have come together that believe in what we're doing, and family that believes in what we're doing, that have come together to serve the community.
We've shown you some of the stories of remarkable women making a difference in our community. It has been an honor to recognize the accomplishments and the contributions being made across Central Texas. Thank you so much for watching.